have to be.
Yeah.
I've talked to a couple people, but there's no way that I think any of them come on board unless I can convince you to.
Why us? Why us? Like, I don't think it's me you have to convince. I think it's Kayla.
Well, I don't have to convince Kayla. I'm not coming off the block.
Oh.
So here's the elevator pitch.
Okay.
Everybody said we had a final 5 in week 3.
Me,
you, Liv, Erica, and Johnny.
Right.
I see them as people who win comps. I see myself as someone who wins comps. I see that I need 4 votes to stay and none of you are on the block. That's 4 people. To me, the only time, the reason that you and I have gone back and forth so much is because I've flipped back and forth so much because I never knew whether or not you guys were fully in.
Right.
And did you, I don't know if you felt like when we were in, we worked well together, and when we weren't together, shit got crazy. And that's my fault, and I know that. And I know that of all the people I'm talking to, you're going to be the hardest to convince.
Right.
But the pitch for me is that at the end of the day, if you're hoping to get through to the triple eviction with Dayla as an option and you guys as the other option, I think you'd probably rather be with people that are winning comps and would send them home before that happens.
Right.
And the conversation being that there is 5 and we all survive the triple because the people who win comps, which is so far in that 5, everyone but you, right, has won comps, right?
Totally.
And 11 of 14.
That's pretty crazy.
11 of 14 have gone to the four of us so far.
Yeah.
So at that point, to me, it protects until 5. Now, wherever 5 lands, it's going to be the HOH that wins when there's 5 people left that turns shit upside down.
Right.
But at that point, you're there anyway if you survive to 5, right? You're there anyway if you survive to 5. So
I really don't see Johnny going against Will, though. That's not his truth.
Okay.
Like he
that may be the case.
Yeah.
And all I'm suggesting is that all I'm asking from this week is that the 4 of you discuss it amongst yourselves. Decide whether or not it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Decide whether or not it's something feasible, but to keep it between the 4 of you and not
I don't
take
have a
it
problem
outside.
with that.
So,
I definitely don't have a problem with
and
that.
I will know on Thursday night whether or not that's a thing. And if it is, if I'm still here at the end of Thursday, because I don't know that it's still going to be Will. The veto's in play.
Right,
I don't expect Johnny to use it, but he might.
He might, yeah.
And so it gets you guys through the triple. It gets Johnny and Erica, who have 4 comp wins each, through the triple.
Yeah.
And it keeps me in the game.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a benefit to everybody.
Yeah.
Now, could you all strike the same deal with Will? Absolutely you could. But I don't know that he turns his back on Maddie or Paris at this point to join another
And you
side.
already had that conversation with Erica and Johnny, or you're going to?
I've had the conversation briefly with Johnny and Erica since yesterday, and I just had it with Liv.
Okay.
So I've given all 4 of you the pitch, but I think at the end of the day, the feedback that I've gotten from 3 out of 4 people so far is, yeah, but I don't know that Allie will ever go for it.
Right.
And so if that's the case, that's fine. And I go home on Thursday and nothing changes for you guys.
Right.
But I'd like you to consider it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't want to go home yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a hell of a lot more game to play.
Right.
And I'd rather get to the final 5 with a duo that survived a triple, 2 comp beasts and myself, and the 5 of us just at that point, you know, wherever whoever wins the HOH wins the HOH, but at the meantime, you've taken out the strongest individual player in the game because Kayla's work over the last 24 hours, if it didn't terrify everybody, it should have.
Yeah.
And so she can't play next week, which means that if there is a 5 that I'm a part of and I know where my people aren't going to land on the block,
Yeah.
it's very easy if I win HOH to throw Dela up.
Right.
Because I know I'm not going to take you out at the triple.
Yeah.
You guys know I'm not going to take you out at the triple. Everybody just votes out whichever one of Derek and Kayla is still sitting there on Thursday. Or if they're both there, you know, then Kayla goes. And you're playing against Derek, who's never won a competition and who, while under pressure, is shaky. And so I wouldn't ask you to finalize anything until Thursday. I wouldn't ask you to let me know. If there is a blindside, it's now. Because you're not just blindsiding to see Will go home, which is sad. And I'm never going to say anything shitty about the guy.
Yeah.
Because he's a good person and you know.
Totally.
I'm in a bad situation looking at Will, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Derek would be rattled headed into the HOH, and Derek hasn't necessarily performed well under pressure yet this season. So he would have to win HOH to keep them both in the house. Otherwise, there's not anybody that doesn't put them up. I really don't think even Maddie or Paris would put them up, because Maddie and Paris would feel confused that they weren't brought in on the plan to keep me rather than send me home. But losing Will allows them to be more pliable in the future as well.
Right.
And not really for me, because I think they'd feel somewhat betrayed by me. Maddie and I are completely irreparable at this point. Mostly because, again, when you haven't trusted me, you've told me. And she told me the other day, I haven't believed anything you said for 4 weeks, but I just haven't told you. So, again, you know where I stand with people I think are lying to me.
Right.
Right? And she just outright admitted it and said that she had flipped and was going to blindside me last week, but then changed her mind last minute. So the only reason that Kayla's plan to get me to throw everybody under the bus worked is because she flipped and she allowed there to be cracks, and Kayla filled in the cracks.
Right.
And really played me quite well.
Yeah.
And I don't deny that.
Yeah.
I was incredibly dumb to do what I did 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
Or 48 hours ago now.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think for you guys, to me it makes more sense to be protected with the people who win than hoping the people who don't win that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's 5, it's 5. And I've been, wherever I've been locked, and because nobody's worked with me for more than a week or 2 at a time, essentially, like, and you know.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why it's always been, okay, well, Ryan's on a different side this week.
My thing is, too, that it's not, I think that these people, with the exception of Liv, I think Eric and Johnny are probably telling you that it weighs entirely on me as a way of not having to take any ownership.
Sure. Hey, I would. Johnny's told me that he would use the veto on me, but it would sewer him with Kayla. And he's after him.
Right.
You know? And so, and yeah, I think we're in a spot that no matter what Kayla wants, which is for me to go home, I don't know why everyone has always lined up to do what the HOH wants, because they're not HOH next week.
Right.
And so if you don't want that person to go,
Yeah.
if you don't want someone to go because you think it's better for your game if they stay, then why are we still sending those people home? Right. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm in a spot where I need a lifeline. Erica has had my back the whole way. Unless she's telling everybody else different, and again, I'm believing it when I shouldn't, but I believe that Erica's had my back the whole way. She had 2 chances to send me home and didn't. You know? She worked the plan to get Marin out even though I was on the block, and I'm sure everyone was telling her in week 4, hey, you got to put Ryan up because we got to get him out. Because that's been the appetite for a lot of people since week 2. So if that's been the appetite, and Erica didn't get me out both times she had the opportunity, then that to me says she has my back a little more than anybody else. And I don't know her relationship with Will, and maybe she is saying it with Will. And all I've said to Liv, and all I'm going to reinforce with Johnny and Erica, is I don't need to know. don't give me the decision. Don't let me know. Let me know on Thursday. You either vote to keep me or you don't, and I'll know one way or another. Then that's, if my pitch is successful, then I will consider that a 5 that I am working with aggressively to get to the final 5.
Okay.
And that, but if I go home on Thursday, I'll know that it was too little too late.
Okay.
And I'll know that the trust had been broken and couldn't be repaired. But I would, you know, I just have, like, at the end, when we did work together, we worked together well. And I don't know what, if any, I'm hoping I can trade on the positives and only apologize for the negatives.
I hear you.
Because I don't have any other option, right?
No, for sure. Okay, well, let me process it.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've got so much time between now and Thursday.
Totally.
But between...
Like, well, I'm sure we'll talk 100 times before then.
Yeah, and I would only ask that it doesn't stretch out, because,
no,
like,
to me, like,
private
you know,
nobody has private conversations in this
the
house, and it drives
conversations are
me
getting
crazy.
more and more private.
Right, and
because
so...
it's to the stage now where even people that you are close with, you have to have private conversations with, the
Right.
people you feel even closer with.
Yeah.
So the private conversations are...
Yeah.
becoming a thing finally.
Yeah. Yes. And so the pitch is out there. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
And you know, I think you know better than anybody.
Yeah.
That when I'm working with you, I'm working with you.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, I'm not. And it's easy to send me home.
Yeah.
It's easy to send me home. That's the easy thing to do.
The only thing I'll say.
Yeah.
How do I say this?
Just say it, because our unvarnished truth is best at this point.
It's like I'm trying to think. The only thing I'll say is don't fixate on who you're choosing as the 5.
Okay. I don't know
I'm just saying.
I know I could bring Paris in, but she's
No. Fuck that.
Okay.
Fuck her.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't trust her as far as I
Okay.
can throw her, and that actually comes after that whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
And that better stay this time.
Because unless Derek, the problem is nobody else can deliver 2 votes like they can.
I know.
And if John and Erica was the one who was continually warning me last week, don't trust them, don't trust them, don't trust them.
Don't
check
trust
in
Dayla?
with them. No, don't trust the 4 who said they had my back, which was Johnny, Maddie, Paris, and Will. She was like, you need to check in with them. Make sure you're checking in with them.
Right.
I'll be there if you need me to be, but make sure you're checking in with them, because if one of them flips, you're fucked. And she kept telling me. So to me, that means it's far easier for me to get Erica than anybody else. And Johnny seems to have a good relationship with the 2 of you. And so,
He does. But
and I don't know if Johnny's the one that's saying, yeah, Ryan, it's Ryan's time. And
I
if
just
he
know
is, that's
that
one thing, but...
Johnny's very attached to Will.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's very attached to Maddie, too.
Yeah, so...
But I can't... The only other person would be Derek, and there's no way that Kayla flips. Unless anybody has any influence on her,
well, I'll
Kayla's
just
sending
leave
me
it at
home.
that. Just
Yeah.
don't... Just, like, let me think about some things. Let me talk to Liv.
But if that's the case, get Johnny to pull Will off the block and keep him in the house another week.
Yeah,
and then she probably puts up Paris or Maddie. And unfortunately, again, I won't campaign against Paris because I do like her a lot and I trust her.
Yeah.
But that would still be up to the rest of you to make the decision. Does Paris go home or does Ryan?
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
still fucks over Dayla. It still makes them the number one
I got a lot
target
of things
next
I
week.
need to work on, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about it. Understand that I don't think things are irreparable. And, 5 is certainly better than 7.
Yeah.